In this video, we're going to be finding concavity, meaning concave up or concave down. Concave up would be like holding water, and concave down would be like not holding water. And it's important to remember positive and negative, because concave up is when the second derivative is positive, and concave down is when the second derivative is negative. So we need to find second derivatives. In order to do that, we have to find first derivatives first. So our first derivative here would be 1/3 x cubed minus 1/2 x squared minus 2x plus 1. Our second derivative would then be x squared minus x minus 2. Set that equal to 0. Solve, generally by factoring. So we would get an x plus 1 and an x minus 2, giving us potential places for changes of concavity at -1 and +2. And we'll learn later on that that's a point of inflection if there's a sign change. So now let's do a sign test. If we pick -2, which is to the left of -1, we would get a negative times a negative, which would be a positive, meaning we're concave up on the interval -infinity to -1. So we can go ahead and say concave up from -infinity to -1. Test something in between -1 and 2, like 0. Plug that in for the x values. We get a positive times a negative is a negative, so that's concave down over the interval -1 to 2. So we can go ahead and list concave down from -1 to +2. If we pick something to the right of 2, such as 3, plug that in. Again, the factored place is usually the easiest place. And again, notice all of these we're plugging into the second derivative because that's concavity. We get a positive times a positive is a positive. Again, concave up, this time from 2 to infinity. So joining these with the union symbol, 2 to infinity. Reason why it's concave up is the second derivative is positive. Reason why this interval is concave down, second derivative is negative. Let's do one more. So again, we're finding concavity, so we need the second derivative. First derivative would be 1/3 x cubed plus x squared plus x minus 2. Our second derivative would be x squared plus 2x plus 1. Set that equal to 0. Solve generally by factoring. Now this is a perfect square trinomial, so x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to 0. So we have a potential thing happening at -1. Now, when we do our sign test, again, we have a square here, and when you square something, it's always positive. Well, that means this thing is going to be always concave up. So concave up from -infinity to infinity, concave down, never or none. And the reason this is concave up is the second derivative is always positive.